Hey, top of the morning, everybody. Yeah, it's Monday morning. I hope you're ready for a great week. This is your Monday morning moment, and I'm your old buddy, Shep Jordan. I just want to start by saying thanks again for all the love and support many of you are showing for what we're doing here with Monday Morning Moment and the Intentional Faith Initiative. And once again, if you know someone you think may benefit from what we got going on here, I hope you'll share. And some of you are doing that. I really appreciate it. Let's keep that ball rolling. Thanks a lot. All right, I'm going to do something. I know you guys get tired. I'm going to ask you a question right off the bat. I know it's Monday morning, but here's my question. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone without ever talking to them? I know it's a silly question, and I know the answer is probably no, but just go with me with this. So if you had been in a relationship like that where you never talked to the person, how strong was that relationship and how long did it last? Probably not very strong, probably didn't last very long. Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. How can you expect to have a strong relationship with God without praying? Oh man, don't bring up prayer. Prayer, no. Okay, so I know prayer can be an intimidating thing. And for the longest time for me, prayer was kind of an intimidating thing. But I can look back now and I know the reason why. And the reason why is because I was just a box checking Christian. I was just going through the motions. I wasn't totally committed. I was depending on me to get through life and just kind of having God on the periphery. Maybe you're in that same boat. I don't know. I want to help you get out of that boat. So part of that problem was that I never felt comfortable praying because I knew God knew that I wasn't all in. I was just kind of checking boxes and I felt kind of like, yeah, I shouldn't be praying if I'm not all in. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here are some of the excuses I would use back then. I don't really know how to pray. And another one was, what if I don't pray the right way? All right, well, if you find yourself feeling that same way, okay, we're going to help you with this. And of course, there's a Gold Nugget Bible verse that we're going to start with. So consider this. And this comes from Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 through 8. It's a little bit of a long one, but stick with me. And this is Jesus talking. And he goes, "And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full," which means it ain't getting any better for them. "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep babbling like the pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them. For your Father knows what you need before you even ask him." All right, a couple things there that I want you to take note of. Okay, twice in there, Jesus says, not if you pray. He says, when you pray. So what's the expectation? Well, the expectation from Jesus and God is that you're going to pray. Not if, when. You're going to pray. And the second thing is, and this is even more important, this is why I push your devotional time so much, is the fact that Jesus says, go into your room and close the door and have that quiet, intimate time with God. Don't be on the street corners. Don't be babbling. Don't do any of that. So there's your first little guide on answering, what if I don't pray the right way? Okay, well, there's how to pray the right way. Now, I wish I could tell you that I fixed my prayer problem quickly. It actually took a lot of time. It wasn't until I became intentional in growing my faith that things improved, but it really came to a head about 5 years ago. And I have to have my friend Nigel Mumford to thank. Now, Nigel is an Episcopal priest, but he was also a Royal Marine Commando. He was like a drill sergeant kind of guy, too. And we were at a men's retreat, and he was leading a session on prayer, and he was guiding us through some things like this. And we got in groups and started to do some prayer. And for some reason, he showed up at our little group of 3, and he looked at me and he goes, "Well, what are you going to pray about?" And I said to Nigel, I said, "Well, I'm not really sure because, God has a lot more things to worry about than my piddly needs and concerns." And in an instant, it was like, whoosh, he was that close to my face. He said, "Stop it! Stop that!" He goes, "Do you really think God doesn't care about every single human being on this earth and their needs?" Whew. Well, of course, I was shaking in my boots. And it got me thinking. And his point was simply, it doesn't make any difference. God just wants you to communicate with him, no matter how big, how small your needs and concerns are. And that really got me changed and thinking differently. So I kind of want to close with another Bible verse, Gold Nugget Bible verse, which really kind of drives this home. And once again, it comes from the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Philippians. And you've probably heard this, but this is one of my favorite go-tos when I'm a little anxious. And he says in Philippians 4, verse 6, "Do not be anxious for anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ." I mean, what other encouragement do you need? Come to God with everything, be thankful, and just let Him take care of it. Whew. Well, it's changed the way I look about prayer. And here's my thought. If you can talk, whether you actually speak or whether you just feel it in your heart, you can communicate with God. And guess what? Doesn't make any difference how big, how little. Our God is that great that He will address your every need. Wow. Good stuff. All right, friends and neighbors, man, hope you have a great week. Hope you take these words to heart. I've just experienced this, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. It's worked for me. Okay. Go out, do great things, be kind to people, and they'll be kind back, most of them. And next week, we're going to talk about a tool of faith. I've used that term before. We're going to talk about a tool of faith. So make sure you tune in for your Monday morning moment. We'll see you next Monday.